Hello friends. So in this video we will debug the code and we will check how the request flow and how the data is saved in the database. Okay, so just run this application in the debug mode and go to the postman and add the first name. Add the first name like my name is Pawan, last name is Gawande, and email, add some email like test email like Pawan, and password is test. Okay, let's check. Our application is running on 8080 port. Okay, let's add some debugger point. So go first debugger point, add in the controller. Go to the controller, add one debugger point here. Now from the controller we are calling the user service. Let's add the second debugger point in the user service. Okay, in the user service we are converting this user DTO to the user entity, and here we are setting the value from user DTO to user entity. Add some debugger point there. After that, once we save the data, again we are converting this user entity to the user DTO. Also we created this method, so add one debugger point here. Okay, here and here. Okay, go to the controller, and whenever we return it, so add debugger point here. Okay, go to the postman, hit the link. Now you can see this our user created method is triggered, and check our user DTO. In user DTO we have the user ID null. As the user ID we have to auto increment first name Pawan, last name Gawande, and some test email and password. Okay, go next. Now the user service method, this user created method is triggered. Now we have this user DTO, and we are converting, means we are setting the user DTO value to the user entity. So for that we are going in our common utility method, and in this method we have this method. So in that method we are setting the value. So we are creating the user entity object, and we are setting all the value to that user entity, and at last we can see our user entity object. Okay, so we have this user entity object. Okay, and this encrypted password null, because we are not setting the password in this utility method. Go next. Okay, we are setting password here, and at last you can check the user entity model. So we have this all the value set for this user entity. Now this will call the user repo, the save method. The save method will save this all the data in our database, and it will return the user entity object. Okay, now you can see the user entity object is written, and after that it will return the user ID also. So same value in the response we are sending this user DTO. So set all the value from user entity to the user DTO. Let's check. So this is the similar method that we check earlier. So set this user entity value to the user DTO. Okay, you can check here all the value we set. As the password, there is not recommended to show the password in the response, so we not set it the value into the password. Go to the next. Okay, now it will return. Okay, go to next, and it will return the user DTO object. As our method in the service user create method, it will return the user DTO, so that's why it is return the user DTO object. So we have this user DTO object, and we said that the user is created. This is the 201 status. Okay, so created. Okay, so let's resume it. So in the postman we got this response. Okay, and in the response there we have this user ID 5 for this Pawan Gawande. Let's check in our database, H2 database. So go to the H2 database. So we have this, run this, and okay, so test connection, connect, go to the user table and run this. Here you can see for user ID 5 we have this Pawan Gawande, this user. So by this way we save this all the data in the database. So this is all about this save creation of the user.